Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, I just watched the Munsters, the official trailer, 2 minutes and 30 seconds of it. Oh, it's so bad. I'm really disappointed. I don't know if I'm more disappointed or angry at Rob Zombie. It's awful. I suspected it would be this bad, but I didn't think it would be this bad. I kind of was in some level of denial, which you could stay in until you actually saw the trailer. Because we didn't really see any performances, just a little bit of just a little sort of little jokey sort of moment here and there where they were doing like a remake of the original, leaving home sort of scene where they're all coming out the front door. That's really all we'd really seen, and just a few little pictures and a couple of seconds here and there. And I sort of thought, out of context, without the right lighting or without the right timing or something, maybe it doesn't look as bad as it seems to, but no, it's that bad. It's a complete parody. It's a complete joke. It's made for 5-year-olds. It doesn't have any of the humor of the original series. It was all tongue-in-cheek. Totally, everyone knew what they were saying, what all the jokes were. It was quite nice. This is just stupidity. It's just ridiculousness. It's just like literally the big sell, the end of the trailer is Herman knocks on a door, and a woman dressed as a witch, I guess it's Halloween, looks at him, is so terrified, even though it's Halloween, I guess, and there'd be other people dressed up. She faints backwards, and they've got the noise, so she falls, and it's all done like in sort of staggered sort of cuts. Like, it's just ridiculous. That humor went out in like the 30s, and not even kids would laugh at that, like since like I don't know, the 60s. It's just awful. The story itself, we have a little bit more information. Basically, it's an origin story. Of course, they can't just do a movie based on a show that we like. We have to either change it or go back into the past before it is what it is. So we go back and we see Herman and Lily fall in love. So we see Herman being born as Frankenstein, basically, and we see Lily wandering around, even though she's like 50, because Sherry Moon Zombie's like 50 now. So she's supposed to be a young girl in love, looking for her husband, and it's her. And she doesn't play the role well at all. She doesn't sound like Lily, doesn't act like Lily. I don't know if she can even act. I've never seen her act in anything other than Halloween. I assume she could act, but I haven't seen any sign of it in this trailer. The guy who plays Herman has a couple of moments. Like, there's a moment where he meets Lily at the door, and he's like, "Well, hello." He sounds like Fred Gwynn, in that moment. And there's a moment or two where the grandpa character kind of feels a bit like Grandpa, but still he doesn't have that edge that oh my god, I've forgotten his name. Al Lewis had. Yeah, it's just awful. It's like a kid's. They're obviously marketing it for kids. Like they may as well have just done an animated film like the Addams Family film. At least you expect it to be sort of made for kids when it's animated and it's a cartoon. But this could have been an actual decent fantasy drama comedy romance film where they actually like the Addams Family film and Addams Family Values. Both those films were believable. You believed those people really existed in our world, and they were recognisable. Yet they were different. They're more sophisticated. They were better. They made an improvement. This, they don't retain the original, nor do they improve it. They just parody it and make fun of it, and it's just cartoony colour and just ridiculous. It looks like it just looks really cheap and unsophisticated, and it's just so sad. But I mean, we've got the other Munsters films that they made, which are actually decent compared to this, from what I've seen. We've got the original series, and the most annoying thing I think was the first, the opening frames are the old Universal logo from like the 40s or the 50s. The show was made in 66, I think it started, or 64, and yeah, it was done in black and white on TV, but when they did it on film, they used the modern Universal logo, which was done in colour. That's the logo I'm familiar with when I think of the Munsters in film. So to go right back to like the 50s and act like, oh look, this is so old, let's just make fun of this silly old show. It's like that's the mentality that went behind this. We got this old property, let's just make fun of it. Let's just trash it. Because we can laugh at it, because we don't know how to actually make the show and actually use their humour, because it was too sophisticated for us, apparently, as simple as it was. So we're just going to make fun of it and parody it and just make a joke out of it. That's what they've done. So I hate you, Rob Zombie. I really do. I hate you for ruining Halloween. I hate you for ruining the Munsters. We got Halloween back. We'll probably get another Munsters one day, but we'll probably have to wait 10 or 20 years for it. So thanks for that. Thanks, Rob. I'd love to say what I really think, but YouTube censorship can't